Will Campbell provides you that stability, that versatility.
I would take Will Campbell.
New England Patriots select Will Campbell.
Best in protecting their young quarterback.
I can play wherever I need to play to get on the field and do whatever I got to do.
But he's the most pro-ready of the offensive linemen and has a high floor.
You can hit him, pull him, or try to overpower him. It won't matter. Will Campbell doesn't play football to impress anyone. He plays it to end conversations. From the moment he lines up, defenders feel it. Not speed, not flash, pressure, the kind that doesn't move. Most linemen try to win quickly. A punch, a step, a moment. Will Campbell wins by refusing to lose ground. He plants his feet, drops his weight, and becomes immovable. No wasted motion, no panic, just control. Defenders rush him full speed, confident they can push him back. They collide, and suddenly, nothing happens. No progress, no leverage, no movement, just resistance. That's when frustration sets in. Because against Will Campbell, effort isn't enough, strength isn't enough, speed isn't enough. You have to be perfect, and nobody is perfect for an entire game. Campbell understood that early. While other players chased highlights, he studied balance, how to sink his hips lower than anyone else, how to keep his hands inside, how to let defenders burn energy while he stayed calm. He didn't try to dominate instantly. He let dominance build, snap after snap, drive after drive. The first few plays, defenders feel confident. They test him. They try different angles, different moves. By the second quarter, the tone changes. They stop attacking. They start reacting. Because every rush ends the same way, chest to chest, feet stuck, nowhere to go. Will Campbell doesn't chase defenders. He absorbs them, and that's exhausting. There's a moment every defender reaches against him, a moment where they realize they're fighting the ground as much as the man. That moment changes everything. Hands get slower, moves get sloppy, confidence fades. Campbell feels it immediately. He leans just a little harder, anchors just a little deeper, and suddenly the pocket feels clean. Quarterbacks love that. Because when Will Campbell is in front of you, time feels different. You don't rush throws. You don't flinch at pressure. You trust the wall. That trust didn't come from reputation. It came from consistency. Campbell wasn't loud. He didn't celebrate pancakes. He didn't talk trash. He let defenders talk to themselves. You could see it on film. A defensive end lines up wide, full of confidence. 3 snaps later, he narrows his stance. 5 snaps later, he hesitates. By halftime, he's looking at the sideline for help. That's when respect begins. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind where defenders stop testing you, stop trying to prove something. They know better now. They know you're not moving. And that's the thing about Will Campbell. He doesn't dominate with violence. He dominates with certainty. Every snap tells the same story. You can try whatever you want. It won't work. And over time, the league started to notice, not because of highlights, but because of silence. Because nothing dramatic was happening on his side of the line. No sacks, no chaos, just control. And in football, control is power. As games went on, defenses stopped treating Will Campbell like a normal lineman. They started planning around him. Coordinators circled his name on the whiteboard. They talked about sliding protection away from him. They discussed attacking the other side instead. Not because they were scared, but because they were realistic. Will Campbell didn't lose matchups. He drained them. The first adjustment defenders tried was speed, wide alignments, fast get-offs, quick hands. They thought they could beat him before he settled. It didn't work. Campbell didn't chase speed. He absorbed it. He waited, stayed patient, let defenders run themselves into bad angles. When they tried to run past him, he guided them exactly where he wanted, outside the pocket, behind the play, irrelevant. The second adjustment was power. Bull rushes, full-body collisions, everything behind the pads. That worked even less. Campbell lowered his base, widened his stance, and let physics do the work. Defenders pushed and pushed and pushed, but the ground never gave. That's when frustration turned into fatigue. You could see it late in games. Defensive linemen bending at the waist, hands on hips, breathing heavy. Campbell looked the same as he did in the first quarter, calm, balanced, unmoved. That consistency broke people, because football is a game of adjustments, and when adjustments stop working, doubt creeps in. Defenders began hesitating at the snap, second-guessing their moves, wasting energy before contact even happened. That hesitation was all Campbell needed. He didn't need to dominate with aggression. He dominated with patience. He waited for defenders to make mistakes, then locked them in place. That's why quarterbacks trusted him so deeply, because when pressure came from elsewhere, they knew exactly where it wouldn't come from. Campbell's side stayed clean. That allowed offenses to expand. Longer developing routes, deeper drops, more control, all because one spot on the line was secure. and that security changed how teams played. Coaches stopped chipping defenders on his side. They stopped keeping tight ends in to help. They trusted him alone. That trust is rare, and it's earned, not given. What really separated Will Campbell, though, was how little emotion he showed. He didn't celebrate wins. He didn't react to losses. He treated every snap the same. Win or stalemate, he reset and did it again. That calm presence affected everyone around him. Teammates felt it. They played looser, more confident, because when the middle of the line doesn't move, everything else feels possible. Defenders noticed that too. They stopped trash-talking him, stopped trying to provoke him. They knew it wouldn't change anything. By the third quarter, most of them were just trying to get through the game. That's when respect turns permanent. Not when you dominate once, but when you dominate every time. And by now, the league understood something important. Will Campbell wasn't overpowering people with strength alone. He was controlling them with leverage, balance, and discipline. He was turning chaos into routine, and the more routine it became, the harder it was to stop. Because defenses rely on momentum, on disruption, on moments of advantage. Will Campbell erased those moments. He made every snap predictable, and for defenses, predictability is death. By the time Will Campbell had been in the league long enough, defenders stopped seeing him as a matchup. They saw him as a fact. You weren't going to beat him, you were going to deal with him. That shift matters, because once a defender accepts that he can't win cleanly, his entire approach changes. He stops attacking, stops believing, stops committing fully. And Will Campbell felt that before the snap even started. He watched stances, weight distribution, eye level. He could tell when a defender was hoping instead of planning. Those were the snaps he controlled the most. Campbell didn't rush dominance. He let it arrive naturally. Early in games, he stayed quiet, stayed patient, let defenders test him. By the second quarter, they were already working harder than he was. By the third, they were frustrated. By the fourth, they were surviving. That's when Campbell became most dangerous. Because fatigue reveals everything. Technique slips, hands drop, footwork gets sloppy. Campbell never changed. Same base, same balance, same posture. Every rep looked identical, and that repetition broke people. Defenders thrive on variation, on unpredictability, on disruption. Will Campbell gave them none of it. He was always exactly where he needed to be, not a step late, not a step early, just there. That reliability changed how teams prepared. Defensive meetings didn't focus on beating him anymore. They focused on minimizing damage. How long could they avoid his side? How quickly could they redirect plays away from him? That's not strategy. That's concession, and it showed on film. Rushers looping away from him, stunts designed to bypass him, delayed pressure that arrived too late to matter. Campbell watched it all calmly because he knew something they didn't want to admit. If you're avoiding someone, they've already won. What made his dominance even heavier was how little recognition he demanded. He didn't gesture, didn't talk, didn't celebrate. He just reset his hands and waited for the next snap. That silence carried weight. Teammates fed off it. They trusted him implicitly. They played faster knowing one side was secure. Quarterbacks stepped up with confidence. Running backs pressed holes harder. Everything flowed through stability. And Will Campbell was stability. When the game was close, he didn't change. When the crowd got loud, he didn't flinch. When the moment got heavy, he got quieter. That's leadership without words. Defenders noticed that too. They stopped jawing, stopped testing him late. They lined up, did their job, and moved on. That's the highest form of respect in football. Not fear, acceptance. By then, the nickname had spread. You can't move him, not because he was the strongest, not because he was the biggest, but because he understood leverage better than anyone across from him, because he trusted technique more than force, because he let defenders beat themselves. Will Campbell didn't dominate with highlights. He dominated with inevitability. Snap after snap, he was there. Not winning loudly, not losing quietly, just existing in a space defenders couldn't penetrate. And over time, that presence became heavier than any single play. That's how he earned respect, not by taking it, by making resistance pointless. When people talk about why everyone stopped testing Will Campbell, they usually mention strength, but that's only part of it. The real reason is simpler. He never gave defenders hope. Not early, not late, not once. And in football, hope is everything. Take that away and the game changes. Will Campbell understood that. And that's why, no matter who lined up across from him, the result always felt the same. You could hit him, you could pull him, you could try to overpower him. It wouldn't matter. Because once the snap started, he wasn't moving.